In 2019, researchers at the University of Zürich tracked 3,000 Swiss households for 12 months. They wanted to understand why Swiss families had the lowest impulse purchase rates in Europe. And they found something nobody expected. 90% of the items Swiss people wanted to buy in January were never purchased by February. Not because they couldn't afford them. Not because they changed their minds. But because they forgot they wanted them in the first place. The researchers watched this pattern repeat across 12 months. Same cities, same desire, different outcome. Picture this. A department store in Zurich. A woman in her 60s picks up an expensive leather bag, studies it, then takes out a small notebook, writes something down, puts the bag back, and walks out, peaceful. No guilt, no internal battle. This is what 90% of Swiss shoppers do. And it's keeping them debt-free in one of the most expensive countries on earth. Now, you might be thinking, I've heard of waiting before buying. That's not new. And you're right. Delayed gratification isn't new. But here's what researchers discovered that was different. The Swiss weren't delaying gratification. They were experiencing no gratification at all. When you delay gratification, you're still thinking about the thing you want. You're resisting, white-knuckling through 30 days of temptation. But the Swiss families in the study weren't resisting anything. They genuinely forgot. By day 30, when researchers reminded them of the items they'd wanted, most participants couldn't remember why they'd wanted them. I was going to buy a what? Why did I want that? I already have something that does that. The desire had evaporated, not because it was suppressed, but because it was never real in the first place. So researchers asked the question that had never been studied before. What do Swiss people do between seeing something and buying it that everyone else doesn't? The answer is 2 words. And once you understand them, you'll never impulse buy the same way again. They write it down. That's it. When a Swiss person sees something they want, they don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, will I remember wanting this in 30 days? Then they write it down, the item, the price, today's date, close the notebook, leave the store. No bookmarking, no cart saving, no thinking about it. The Swiss call it WARTEZEIT-PRINZIP, the waiting principle. But it's not really about waiting, it's about forgetting. The average person makes 14 impulse purchases per month. Coffee gadget, new shoes, subscription, phone case, skincare, book, headphones. You know the pattern. You're scrolling. You see it. You want it. You buy it. This happens because of something psychologists call urgency bias. Your brain values immediate rewards over future rewards. So when you see something you want, your brain says, get it now, or you'll regret it. But when you write something down and walk away, you're telling your brain, this isn't urgent, and your brain relaxes. The desire doesn't have to be resisted. It just fades. Here's what most Americans do when they see something they want. They add it to cart. They bookmark it. They think about it. They go back and look at it 3 more times. They read reviews. They compare prices. They imagine owning it. This is called pre-purchase activation, and it strengthens desire. Every time you look at the item again, your brain gets more attached. By the time you buy it, you've thought about it so much that not buying it feels like a loss. That's why American households make 14 impulse purchases per month. The system is designed to keep desire alive. But the Swiss system is designed to kill it. When you write something down and never look at it again, there's no pre-purchase activation. No review reading, no price comparing, no imagining ownership. The desire has nothing to feed on, so it starves. The Swiss 30-day rule works for 3 reasons. First, it breaks advertising effectiveness. Most impulse purchases happen because advertising created an emotional charge. A good ad makes you feel like you need something you didn't know existed 5 minutes ago. But emotional charges have a half-life. If you write something down and wait 30 days, the ad's power is gone. You're no longer buying because of the feeling. You're evaluating the object on pure utility. The Swiss have known this for decades. Their per capita advertising spending is among the lowest in Europe. Their savings rates are among the highest. They've built immunity. Second, it separates entertainment from ownership. Here's something most people don't realize. Half of impulse buying isn't about wanting the product. It's about wanting the feeling of buying. Retail therapy. Dopamine hit. The brief excitement of acquisition. When you write something down and walk away, you still get that dopamine. Your brain registers the desire, imagines owning it, gets the entertainment value without the cost. 30 days later, when the list says, leather jacket, you realize you already got what you wanted. You imagined wearing it. You enjoyed the idea. You don't need the object. Third, it automates the real question. When you're standing in front of something you want, and you ask yourself, do I really need this? Your brain will always say yes. I'll use it constantly. It's on sale. I deserve this. But when you ask that question 30 days later, your brain is calm. You're not emotionally activated. You're reading words on paper. And in that state, the answer is almost always no. I don't actually need that. The Swiss 30-day rule doesn't rely on you being disciplined. It relies on time doing the work for you. Here's how you start tonight. Step 1, get a physical notebook. Not an app, not your phone. A physical notebook you carry with you. The act of writing by hand creates a micro-commitment. Enough that your brain takes it seriously, not so much that you skip it. Step 2, tomorrow, when you want something non-essential, write it down. Item, price, today's date. Then close the notebook and leave. No bookmarking. No, I'll think about it. Write and walk. Step 3, 30 days from now, open the notebook. Circle what you still want, cross out everything else. The circled items, real needs. Buy them if they still make sense. The crossed out items, that's money you just saved without trying. Step 4, add it up. At month's end, total the crossed out items. That's your savings. Without deprivation, without willpower. The average Swiss person using this saves between $200 and $400 per month. Not because 90% of their desires are wrong, because 90% of their desires are temporary. The Swiss don't impulse buy less because they trained themselves not to. They impulse buy just as much as everyone else. They just don't complete the purchase. And after 30 days of this, something changes. You stop feeling like someone who's trying not to spend. You start feeling like someone who doesn't need things to feel good. That's not discipline. That's identity. And once you have it, saving money isn't a fight anymore. It's just who you are. So tonight, get a notebook. Tomorrow, when you see something you want, write it down. And 30 days from now, open it and see how many of those desires were never really yours to begin with. Most of what you want was borrowed from someone trying to sell you something. The 30-day rule gives it back.